Can Star Wars 9 be saved? First of all, hell no. It's gonna suck. Both J.J. Big Nose Abrams and Rian Fathead Johnson were the wrong guys to get involved with Star Wars. They seemed completely unfamiliar with the prior 6 films. They sought to make a movie, not a Star Wars movie. They have a rich universe to build off of, so what do? They make soft reboots that gender swap characters. They also race swapped, but in the Star Wars universe, that isn't a big deal. You're telling me that you can't find some Star Wars nerd who could have written 7, 8, and 9? The Force Awakens was the best idea you could come up with, and you thought The Last Jedi was a successful follow-up. Are you kidding me? The Last Jedi made $750 million less than The Force Awakens. For Star Wars, that should be considered an absolute failure. You want proof that The Last Jedi was cancer? Take a look at Solo. It bombed. Part of the reason is people were so pissed at The Last Jedi, and partially is because the guy playing Han Solo was a tiny little hobbit with the personality of sweaty underwear. Alden Ehrenreich is 5'9". He looks and acts like a child. Harrison Ford was a man. He was tall, he had presence. To be fair, the Lando character wasn't great either, but it was a little closer to the original. Solo was the first Star Wars film to actually lose money. That's how bad The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi were. Once you lose your heart-on for a film, it takes something very exciting to bring it back. The fact that they had Ford, Fisher, and Hamill all alive and together for 2 films, and they wasted that opportunity, it blows my mind how Big Nose and Fathead could be so short-sighted. The ad for Star Wars 9 had the old Death Star and the Emperor's evil laugh. Well, they already had 3 films with Death Stars and an evil Emperor. They were made from 1977 to 1983. It's been done. Are they so out of ideas that they have to bring characters back from the dead? Everyone is speculating about Star Wars 9. They wonder, can it be saved? The answer is no, of course not. Rey is a Mary Sue. She can never be a good character. They took the original trilogy and excised the character development, which is absolutely critical for good storytelling. Luke developed from an untrained farm boy. He got trained by Ben, then Yoda, and he still got beat by Darth Vader. Rey was able to fly the Millennium Falcon like she had been flying it her whole life. She was able to use a Jedi mind trick to control a prison guard to allow her to escape. That was shockingly stupid. Obi-Wan Kenobi or Darth Vader could do that because they were master Jedis who had decades of training. In the original A New Hope, Princess Leia had to be rescued by Han, Luke, and Chewie. But Rey don't need no man. Rey can rescue herself. Thank you very much. Rey rescues herself. She fights Kylo Ren, a Sith who has been training with a lightsaber for probably over 15 years. But Rey has never even held a lightsaber. She's able to hold her own against Kylo. Not only that, she's able to use the Force to grab a lightsaber, while in Empire, Luke was barely able to move one a few inches away. Rey is so massively overpowered with no training, and it's never explained. She was even able to physically dominate Luke Skywalker, all with 0 training. No, there is no saving Star Wars. It's beyond redemption. But that being said, it will still make $2 billion or more. People just want to get to the end of Star Wars, just to say, okay, thank God it's over. So, it will do much better than The Last Jedi, but Star Wars films after it will probably be soft performers. This article on Bounding into Comics got me starting to think about Star Wars, the rise of Skywalker. People are so desperate to try to come up with ideas to save Star Wars 9, to try to redeem it, that they come up with something like this. A recent Rise of Skywalker theory from Red Letter Media predicts the film will feature a horrible time travel story. Yes, almost all time travel stories are horrible, except for perhaps Donnie Darko. They discuss the idea they're going to go full-on Avengers Endgame, and they are retconning everything. Mike then supports his prediction with a lot of clues. He starts off by quoting Luke Skywalker from the first trailer, "1,000 generations live in you now." He notes this is reference to time. Mike reveals what might be his biggest clue. The circle deflector dish on the Millennium Falcon is back. Mike points out the dish had been knocked off in Return of the Jedi and been replaced by the curved one in The Force Awakens. He points out that the There was the Emperor Palpatine laugh, Leia holding a New Hope medallion from the original film's awards ceremony, which Chewie was robbed after Luke destroyed the Death Star. He then adds another thing. Rey has Luke's lightsaber, which was utterly destroyed in The Last Jedi. He continues, also from Disney's perspective, everyone is dead. There are new Jedis. There's nowhere forward to go. You can only go back. He then states, there are no new Jedis. Well, I mean, kind of, is Rey a Jedi or is she something else? I mean, she seems to be a Jedi with no training. So I'm sure in the galaxy far, far away that there are other Jedis like her, kids with no training who are total Mary Sues. So who knows? It then states, I think there's going to be some kind of time travel device, but I believe the Death Star's wreckage has something to do with it. Because when we see them approaching the Death Star, they're walking. Rey has a sack with her. She's holding a bag. It's a big, heavy bag. She's holding a kind of bag with it. Mike speculates maybe the second Death Star's core is powered by some supreme power source, and it still kind of exists. Okay, that's a pretty good theory. He then states, think about it. Bring Luke back. You can travel to the past. You can do whatever you want. You can bring back Yoda. You can bring back any character you want. You can fix the timeline via a Abrams-esque Kelvin Prime series. The problem with time travel is when you do things like this, it makes it so there are no consequences. Nothing matters because you can always go back and fix it. You can't tell a story like that. I mean, unless you could only time travel once or something, like in what was that movie by I think it was called AI, about 10 or 15 years ago. The guy could recreate his mother but only for one day or something. It's kind of a fairy tale story. Mike even states, I think Luke has taught Rey how to time travel. He continues, very well could be Darth Vader flying the TIE fighter trying to kill Rey because he knows Luke's Force Ghost taught her how to time travel. Please no. Please just no. If Rey, I'm sure Rey would fight Darth Vader and probably cut his both hands off. It's just no time travel. Please just, God, I just can't believe what they've done with Star Wars. Like I said, the first one, The Force Awakens, made $2 billion. Not bad. For a movie that was kind of mediocre. The Last Jedi, which was actually a bad film, I think it made $1.2 or $1.3 billion. That's quite a bit less, and it should have made more. The name of Star Wars should be like just going to the bank and coming out with wheelbarrows of cash and think, oh, well, $1.2 or $1.3 billion is a lot. Yeah, but it's not $2 billion. It didn't do as well as the first one, so. Rumor suggests the rise of Skywalker will tie in with A New Hope. You gotta make original content. You don't need to just rehash George Lucas's old scripts. If you're gonna make George Lucas his old films, well, why don't you just hire George Lucas to write you something new? Is that a crazy thought? Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker or both. Yeah, okay, you can bring them back, but you'll have Rey still be so overpowered. I mean, you should have, I don't know, you could have brought Luke back and had him fight the Emperor if the Emperor somehow survived. The story should have been focused on Luke Skywalker, not on Rey. Luke Skywalker is a huge name associated with Star Wars. You had Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher all alive at one time, and you didn't make use of them. You made this little English girl, Daisy Ridley, the star of the film. No, she's not a star of a film. She can't carry the film. Who knows? Mike's prediction does open up the rise of Skywalker to potential retconning Rey's parentage, presenting Luke Skywalker in a better light. They cucked him so hard. She beats him when they're in the set of I think it's filmed in New Zealand or something, with all the stone buildings and the little hobbits running around. He's training her how to use a lightsaber or something, and she beats him and knocks him down and holds him at sword point. Who wrote that? And how did it make it past an editor to think you just treat Luke Skywalker like a complete and total bitch? Would you be happy with J.J. Abrams using time travel to fix Star Wars? Are there any comments? Dave Drew Taylor. No, Star Wars can't be fixed. It's beyond. Abandon all hope, all ye who enter here. Anyway, leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you're not already subscribed.